Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Learning English with Podcast Conversation. I'm your host, Tony, and I'm super excited for today's episode. We have a fantastic topic that I think will really inspire all of you, and it's also a great way to practice your English. And, of course, I'm joined by our wonderful guest, Jenny. Welcome, Jenny.
Hi, Tony. It's always a pleasure to be here. And hello to all our listeners. I'm really looking forward to diving into this topic with you today. It's something I'm very passionate about.
Great. So today we're going to talk about something that many of us often wonder about. What highly successful people do differently. You know, when we look at people who achieve amazing things, whether it's in business, sports, art, or even just mastering a new language, it often feels like they have some secret, right?
Haha, yes, it often does. But I think a lot of that secret is actually just a collection of very clear habits, mindsets, and ways of approaching life. It's not usually about innate talent as much as it is about consistent effort and specific choices.
Exactly, and that's what we want to explore today. We'll share some real-life examples, maybe a few personal stories, and give you some actionable tips that you can start using right away in your own lives, whether it's for learning English or for any other goal. So Jenny, where should we start? What's one of the first things that comes to your mind when you think about what successful people do differently?
That's a great question, Tony. I think one of the most fundamental things is their clear vision and goal setting times. It's not just about having a dream. It's about having a detailed, almost photographic image of what they want to achieve, and then breaking it down.
A photographic image. I like that. So it's more than just saying, I want to be rich or I want to speak English fluently. It's about visualizing what that looks like, what it feels like, and what steps lead there.
Precisely. For instance, if someone wants to speak English fluently, a successful person would define what fluently means to them. Is it having conversations with native speakers without hesitation? Is it reading complex books? Is it passing a specific exam? And then they would set specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound, or SMART, goals.
SMART goals. Yes, that's a very popular framework. So instead of, I want to speak English fluently, it would be more like, I will have a 15-minute conversation in English with a native speaker every day for the next 3 months.
Exactly. And then they would break that down even further. What do I need to do each week to achieve that? What do I need to do each day? It's not just a big wish. It's a plan, a roadmap. I have a friend, Sarah, for example. Her dream is to live in Paris one day. That's her big vision. But she knows she needs to learn French first. So her first SMART goal was to complete an intermediate French course online within 6 months and be able to order food and ask for directions comfortably.
Wow, that's a very clear goal. And how did she approach it daily?
She dedicated 30 minutes every single morning, without fail, to her online lessons and practice. And she also found a language exchange partner to practice speaking once a week. She visualizes herself walking through Parisian streets, speaking French. That vision keeps her motivated, even on days when she feels tired. It's her why.
That's fantastic. It leads us perfectly to our next point, actually, which is atomic discipline and consistency. You know, Sarah's dedication to those 30 minutes every morning, that's pure consistency.
Oh, absolutely. This is probably one of the biggest differentiators. It's not about making huge, grand efforts occasionally. It's about showing up day after day and doing the small things consistently. Like, brushing your teeth. You don't get perfectly clean teeth by brushing once a month for an hour, do you? It's the daily routine.
Haha, that's a great analogy, Jenny. No, you definitely don't. It's like building a big wall, brick by brick. You can't just put up one huge brick and call it a day. My dad always used to say, Tony, success is doing what you said you'd do, long after the mood you said it in has left you, which basically means show up, even when you don't feel like it.
Wow, that's a powerful quote from your dad. It really hits home. Consistency creates momentum. And it builds self-trust, too. When you consistently follow through on your commitments, even the small ones, you start to believe in yourself more. This builds confidence, which fuels even more consistent action. It's a positive cycle.
It really is. And it's not always easy, right? There are days when you're tired or you just don't feel motivated. How do successful people push through those moments?
I think it goes back to the why, Tony, the clear vision. When your why is strong enough, it pulls you forward. But also, Successful people often have systems in place. They make it easier to be consistent. For example, instead of saying, I'll exercise today, they might say, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 6 a.m. I will go for a run. It becomes a habit, almost automatic.
That's smart, turning it into a non-negotiable part of their routine. Speaking of learning and improving, that brings us to our next point. Some's a growth mindset. Successful people never stop learning, do they?
Absolutely not. They are lifelong learners. They embrace challenges and see them as opportunities to grow, not as obstacles. They have this belief that their abilities and intelligence can be developed through dedication and hard work. Think of it like a muscle. The more you use it and train it, the stronger it gets.
That's a great way to put it. So, for an English learner, for example, a growth mindset would mean not getting discouraged by mistakes, but seeing them as learning opportunities?
Exactly! Instead of saying, oh, I made a mistake, I'm bad at English, someone with a growth mindset would say, I made a mistake there. That's interesting. What can I learn from this? How can I improve next time? They are curious. They ask questions. They seek feedback.
Wow. That's a huge shift in perspective. It's like Thomas Edison, when he was inventing the light bulb, he reportedly tried thousands of times before he succeeded. When someone asked him, how did it feel to fail 1,000 times? He supposedly said, I didn't fail 1,000 times. The light bulb was an invention with 1,000 steps.
Oh, that's such a perfect example, Tony. He saw each failure as a learning experience, a step closer to success. Imagine if he had given up after a few hundred tries. What a different world we'd live in without his invention. This leads naturally to the idea of asterisk resilience and overcoming failure.
Yes, definitely. Successful people don't let failure define them. They treat it as feedback, just as you said. They learn, they adjust, and they keep going.
It's true. Every famous entrepreneur, artist, or athlete has stories of massive failures before they achieve their breakthroughs. Think of J.K. Rowling, whose Harry Potter book was rejected by so many publishers before it became a global phenomenon. She faced rejection after rejection, but she believed in her story and kept trying.
That's an incredible story. It really shows the power of persistence. It's easy to give up when things get tough, but successful people seem to have this inner strength to keep pushing forward.
They do. And it's not that they don't feel the disappointment or frustration. They do, but they don't dwell on it. They acknowledge it, learn from it, and then shift their focus back to their vision. My grandmother used to say, when one door closes, another one always opens. It's a bit of a cliche, perhaps, but it's rooted in that resilient mindset. It's about finding the next opportunity or the next solution.
I love that. Your grandmother was a wise woman. Okay, so we've talked about vision, consistency, growth mindset, and resilience. What about how successful people manage their most valuable resource, the max time?
Time management and prioritization. This is huge. Successful people are incredibly intentional about how they spend their time. They don't just do tasks. They focus on high-impact activities that move them closer to their biggest goals. They understand that not all tasks are created equal.
That's so true. It's easy to get caught up in emails, social media, or other small tasks that feel urgent but aren't necessarily important for our long-term goals. I often find myself falling into that trap.
Many people do, but successful individuals often use techniques like the Eisenhower matrix, which helps them categorize tasks into urgent and important, important but not urgent, urgent but not important, and neither urgent nor important. They prioritize the important but not urgent tasks, which are often related to long-term goals and prevention before they become urgent problems.
That makes perfect sense. So it's about being proactive rather than reactive. Instead of constantly putting out fires, they're building fire prevention systems.
Exactly. They often schedule their most important work for their peak productivity times, typically in the morning. And they also understand the power of saying no. Saying no to things that don't align with their vision, even if they seem like good opportunities, allows them to say yes to what truly matters.
Saying no is definitely a skill. It's hard sometimes, especially when you want to please people. But it's true, time is finite. So being intentional about how you spend it is crucial. This leads us to another point that's closely related. Time is ever being proactive, not reactive.
Yes, absolutely. Successful people don't wait for things to happen to them. They make things happen. They take initiative. They anticipate problems and plan ahead. They're not just waiting for instructions. They're creating the path.
So like planning your week on Sunday evening instead of waking up Monday morning wondering what to do.
Precisely. Or, a CEO who invests in training their team on new technology before times it's fully implemented, rather than waiting for issues to arise and then trying to fix them. It's about thinking a few steps ahead and taking action to shape the future, instead of just responding to whatever comes their way.
That's very insightful. It's a fundamental difference in approach. They take ownership of their circumstances rather than feeling like victims of them. What else comes to mind, Jenny, that successful people do differently?
I think one that's often overlooked but incredibly important for sustained success is not prioritizing health and well-being. You can have the clearest vision, the most disciplined habits, but if you're not taking care of your body and mind, it's very difficult to perform at your peak for a long time.
You are so right. I used to think I could just push through with very little sleep, or by eating poorly, especially when I was younger. But my productivity, my mood, and my creativity really suffered. I wasn't doing my best work. Now I prioritize 7 to 8 hours of sleep, and I try to eat healthy and exercise regularly. It makes a huge, huge difference.
It makes all the difference. Successful people understand that their body and mind are their most important tools. They're not just getting by, they're actively investing in their physical and mental health. This means regular exercise, nutritious food, sufficient sleep, and often practices like meditation or mindfulness to manage stress.
So it's not a luxury, it's a necessity for sustained high performance.
Exactly. It's like your body is your vehicle. If you put bad fuel in it or don't do regular maintenance, it won't take you very far, will it? Successful people are often very disciplined about their routines, even for these soft skills like self-care. They know it powers everything else.
That's a fantastic point to end on for our main discussion, Jenny. I think we've covered some really crucial aspects of what makes highly successful people tick. Now, for our listeners, let's summarize some key takeaways, some actionable points they can start using today.
Great idea, Tony. I think this is where the real learning happens.
Okay, so takeaway number 1. Times cultivate a clear vision and set small, consistent, smart goals. Don't just dream big. Define what that dream looks like, and then break it down into daily, manageable steps. Remember Sarah and her French learning journey.
Yes, absolutely. And takeaway number 2, embrace a growth mindset and resilience. See challenges and failures as learning opportunities, not as roadblocks. Be curious. Ask, what can I learn? Rather than, why me? Think of Edison's light bulb journey or J.K. Rowling's persistence.
Perfect. And for number 3, Trams Dumbers, prioritize self-care and be proactive with your time. Your well-being is the foundation for sustained high performance. Get enough sleep, eat well, exercise, and be intentional about your time. Focus on what's important, not just what's urgent. Plan ahead.
Excellent summary, Tony. These 3 points, if applied consistently, can truly make a difference in anyone's life, no matter their goals.
I couldn't agree more, Jenny. This has been such an inspiring and insightful conversation. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom and examples with us today.
It was my absolute pleasure, Tony. Thank you for having me. I hope our listeners feel encouraged and motivated.
I'm sure they do. And to all our listeners, remember, success isn't just for a select few. It's built on habits, mindsets, and consistent effort that anyone can develop. So start small, be consistent, and never stop learning. You're capable of amazing things. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to Learning English with Podcast Conversation for more engaging discussions. We love hearing from you, so leave a comment or a review.
And we'll catch you next time. Bye for now.